Who decides what a favorable real estate market to buy in is? Like, who defines that? I think we have to really be careful because there's all these opinions, including mine. Let's just cut straight to the scoop. But as you think through a favorable real estate market, generally in my experience of having been a mortgage lender for over 28 years, by the time that the experts decide it's a favorable real estate market, everybody's in on that game, which means now the competition is much higher than it is when the experts say it's not a favorable market. Let's be clear, the reason that they're saying that is that interest rates have gone up. And so because of that, the perception and the decision is it's not a favorable market. But we still have to live somewhere. The need and the desire to still build wealth through real estate is a viable option. And I think that's the piece of the story that isn't told. When we say it's not going to be favorable to a buyer, what does that really mean? What does that mean? What we do know is that home prices are continuing to appreciate, which means that homes are becoming more expensive. So is that favorable to a buyer? Not necessarily to a buyer, but that's not going to stop anytime soon. So what's different between this year or next year or the year after when it comes to home appreciation and the cost of a home? The reality is that real estate, especially residential real estate, people have to have a place to live. And many people want a home of their very own that they can paint, that they can do whatever they want, decorate, that they can add an add-on, that they can, have a yard for kids or pets or things like that. So they're looking to have ownership, not only for their wants and their needs, but also to build wealth. And so while the market and these experts say that it's not favorable from a price standpoint, that is favorable to a seller or an owner because it means that your wealth is growing. So I think we just have to be really careful when we read these articles. It's not going to be a favorable year to purchase. Well, when is? I mean, think about this, like 5 years ago. If you could have bought 5 years ago at where prices were and where interest rates were, I'm sure you would be like, yeah, I should have, I could have. Personally, I wish I would have bought 100 houses 5 years ago. Of course, it's always easy to go back in the rearview mirror and say, I woulda, coulda, I shoulda. But that is over, and that is in the past. What we need to focus on is where real estate is today. And today, even despite the limited inventory, the higher than normal interest rates from normal over the last few years, even with those conditions, real estate is still appreciating across the country on average, anywhere from 2 to 6%, kind of depending on the actual particular area. And that's year over year. So when I say favorable, and when I read these articles, I just think we have to stop and kind of like dial it in a little bit. Where are you in this journey? Do you want to own a home? Do you want to start to build wealth through real estate? Even at a 2% appreciation. Think about this. If you buy a $500,000 house, 2% appreciation per year is roughly $10,000 per year that your net worth is growing. That's how appreciation works. Now, if it's 6% per year, which is what CoreLogic said our last national year-over-year appreciation rate was, so 6% of $500,000 is $30,000. So that's $30,000 in equity and in net worth that one benefits by having an asset that is actually appreciating and growing. There's value in that. So depending on where you are in this journey, look, like none of us can look in the past, rearview mirror. There's lots of woulda, shoulda, couldas. But today we can look at where we are today, where this real estate market is today and where it's going. And because we have limited inventory in this country of residential real estate available, the likelihood is it will continue to appreciate. Now, does that mean that it's always going to appreciate at a certain percentage per year? No, it doesn't. Real estate markets are cycles and they're going to have ups and downs. Heck, a couple of years ago, we saw annual appreciation rate at 10, 15, 20%. That's not sustainable. It will fluctuate. But the long game is building wealth through real estate is still a viable way to do so and build wealth personally. It also allows us to be able to do what we want with a house and not be at the mercy of a landlord and when they decide to sell or when they decide to raise their rents. The benefits of purchasing a home today are greater than the cons. It's about what lies ahead for you. Why do you want to own real estate? What are your goals? And can you qualify today? What does that even look like? Once you know the answer, then you can decide what's best for you and take action. My team and I are here to help you with the strategy part of the home loan process and what it could look like for you. So click the link below to schedule your no obligation consultation with the KellyZtilowGroup mortgage advisor, and let's make your home ownership dreams become a reality. And if you're not ready to talk to someone just yet, we've got a guide for you that can kind of help you walk through the process and the steps so you know what's in front. Text GUIDE to 480-725-0150 and we'll send that right over to you.